Okay, and review. Okay, so we left off at 180, I think. So starting at 181.
82, Prabhuji.
Okay. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 1, the later pastime of Lord Chaitanya, text 182. घरे आसी दुई भाई जुकति करिया प्रभु देखी बारे चले वेश लुकाइया. After returning to his residence, Dabir Khas and his brother decided, after much consideration, to go see the Lord incognito. So, who's Dabir Khas?
Rupa Goswami.
Rupa Goswami, yes, that's correct. His brother Sanatan Goswami. So, they finished talking to the king and they decided to go visit Lord Chaitanya, but they went incognito because they did not want to be seen visiting him, because if the king found out that they were visiting Lord Chaitanya, he'll cause problems for Lord Chaitanya. So with that consideration, they went incognito. अर्धरात्रि दुई भाई आइला प्रभु स्थाने प्रथमे में लीला नित्यानंद हरिदास सने. Thus in the dead of night, the two brothers, the Birkhas and Sakar Malik, went to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incognito. First they met Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur. Text 184. तारा दुई जन जनाइला प्रभुर गोचरे रूप साकर मल्लिक आइला तोमा देखी बारे. Shri Nityanand Prabhu and Haridas Thakur told Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that two personalities, Shri Rupa and Sanatan, had come to see him. A quick purport, I'll just read it. Sakar Malik was the name of Sanatan Goswami, and Dabir Khas was the name of Rupa Goswami. They were recognized by these names in the service of the Muslim king. Therefore, these are Muslim names. As officials, the brothers adopted all kinds of Muslim customs. So, Sakar Malik was the prime minister, the Sanatan Goswami, and Dabir Khas the treasurer, and that's Rupa Goswami. 185. दुई गुच्छ तृण दुहे दशने धरिया गले वस्त्र बांधी पड़े दंडवत होया. In great humility, both brothers took bunches of straw between their teeth, and each binding a cloth around his neck, fell down like rods before the Lord. So they put straw, bunches of straw between their teeth. What's the significance of that? Anybody knows?
Humility, Prabhuji.
Why? Why is it humility?
Because it's the lower than like the blade of grass. When somebody step on that, it does not agitate or anything.
No, but putting the straw in the teeth, why does that indicate humility?
Means they cannot speak anything which is not favorable. Like,
What does that have to do with straw? Okay. Anybody else?
Is it, I'm just guessing, is it lower than the grass? I don't know.
No, that's what Mahajan Prabhu, Khatwanga Prabhu said.
Oh, you have to explain.
Shila Madhvi?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Grass can be grow back, but straw cannot be.
Say again?
Grass can be grow back.
Can grow back.
Yeah, grass.
Okay.
But
All right.
straw
Sorry,
straw won't be grow back. The straw won't grow back.
Okay, let me try that. So, who normally eats grass?
elephants?
Well, any
Cows.
animal. Any animal.
Herbivores.
Animals, right? So by putting,
Cow.
sorry? So by putting a straw in your mouth, you're saying, I'm like an animal.
Yes.
Animals are supposed to be ignorant and not a very highly developed consciousness. So by putting grass in your mouth, you're saying, I'm ignorant. I need your mercy. And animals typically have a master, and therefore you are my master. So that's how it shows humility, saying that I'm ignorant, you're my master, I'm your servant. So that's the whole idea behind putting straw in your teeth. And each binding a cloth around his neck, it says. Next line says, each binding a cloth around his neck. So what's the significance of that?
That I bow down, Prabhuji?
No. No, binding a cloth around your neck.
It's like you're a tamed animal or something, tamed dog.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm like a pet animal has a strap around his neck, so can be controlled by the master. So I'm looking for you to control me. You're my master. So that's how it shows humility. The straw between the teeth and the cloth around his neck. And then fell down like rods before the Lord. So falling down like a rod means dandavat. That's the literal meaning of dandavat, which is another sign of humility. You do not bow down to anybody in the form of a rod unless you're submitting and unless you are accepting their superiority. So all those three things are sign of humility. Okay, is there any questions about that? Okay, text 186. Danya rodan kare anande vival, Prabhu kahe utho utho, hoile mangal. Upon seeing Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the two brothers were overwhelmed with joy, and out of humility they began to cry. So now crying is significant because it can signify many things. So what can crying signify? Tell me, please.
It could be overwhelming emotion.
Overwhelming emotions of what?
Gratitude.
I'm sorry, Gayatri?
Gratitude.
Gratitude, okay. What else?
Can be sorrow as well.
Sorrow, yes. What else?
Love.
Helplessness.
Love, yes. What else?
Love.
When you miss
That-
somebody.
That we are very pleased to see you.
Yeah, the joy. So
Joy.
sometimes you cry out of joy. Not just meeting, but because you're so happy you want to cry. I'm so happy I could cry. That is the expression?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anyway, so all these are the reasons why they're crying. They're showing their humility. They're showing how happy they are to see him and how sad they are about their own condition. All those things, emotions are mixed there in their crying. So very significant point that they're crying. It says out of humility they began to cry. So I'm so honored to meet you. I'm so happy to see you. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked them to get up and assured them of good fortune. Okay, text 187. उठी दुई भाई तबे दंते तृण धरी दैन्य करी स्तुति करे कर जोड़ करी. So humility continues. The two brothers got up and again taking a straw between their teeth, they humbly offered their prayers with folded hands. So folding hands is another sign of humility. You're offering respect because I'm folding my hands because I respect you so much. 188. जय जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य दयामय पतित पावन जय जय महाशय. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful savior of the fallen souls. All glories to the Supreme Personality. So that's their prayers. So most merciful of the fallen souls, Patita Pavan. Now look at the humility. Text 189. नीच जाति नीच संगी करी नीच काज तुम्हार अग्रते प्रभु कहते बासी लाज. Sir, we belong to the lowest class of men, and our associates and employment are also of the lowest type. Therefore, we cannot introduce ourselves to you. We feel very much ashamed standing there before you. Imagine. हमें आपके सामने खड़े होने में लज्जा आ रही है. I'm ashamed to stand in front of you. So let's read the purport. That's very, very interesting purport.
Shall I try one?
Please go ahead.
Although the two brothers Rupa and Sanatan at that time Dabira, Khas and Sakara Malik presented themselves as being born in a low family. They nonetheless belonged to a most respectable Brahman family that was originally from Karnataka. Thus, they actually belonged to the Brahman caste. Unfortunately, because of being associated with the Muslim government service, their customs and behavior resembled those of Muslims. Therefore, they presented themselves as Neech Jati. The word Jati means birth. According to Shastra, there are three kinds of birth. The first birth is from the womb of the mother, the second birth is accepting the reformatory method, and the third birth is accepting by the spiritual master initiation. One becomes abnormal by adopting an abnormal profession or by associating with people who are naturally abnormal. Rupa and Sanatan as Kabir Khas and Sakar Malik associated with Muslims who were naturally opposed to Brahminical culture and co-protection. In Srimad Bhagavatam 7th canto, it is stated that every person belongs to a certain classification. A person is identifiable by the special symptoms mentioned in the Shastras. By one's symptoms, one is known to belong to a certain caste. Both the Veer caste and Sakar Malik belonged to a Brahman caste, but because they were employed by Muslims, their original habits degenerated into those of Muslim community. Since the symptoms of Brahminical culture were almost nil, they identified themselves with the lowest caste. In the Bhakti Ratankara, it is clearly stated that because Karmalak and the Veer caste associated with lower class men, they introduced themselves as belonging to a lower classes. Actually, however, they had been born in respectable Brahman families. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So, does anybody know why Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami accepted the employment of the king?
What I heard, Prabhuji, that the king actually threatened them that if they don't accept their employment, they will punish the Hindus in the area. So that's why they had to take.
Yes, he basically threatened that he is going to convert every Hindu in that area to Muslim. So, to save everybody else, they accepted the employment and hence they became so-called became Muslim. But there's no question about it that they belong to a very high Brahmin family, and they really never really started acting like Muslims. They were acting for a Muslim, and I'm sure they would make decisions that kind of made them look like Muslim, but at heart or otherwise, they were never Muslims. Vimla Bhakti Mataji, you have a question?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. So why their name were Sakar Malik and Dabira Khasa? Was there
Actually,
anything?
it's I know the purpose is the name, but it's a title. So I was explaining, Sakar Malik means Prime Minister, and Dabir Khas means Treasurer, which was their post.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Prabhu.
Sure. So then it says, they presented themselves as Neech Jati. Neech means lower caste. Neech Jati means lower caste. Then it says, according to Shastra, there are three kinds of birth. The first birth is from the womb of the mother. It's called Shukra Janma. Second birth is acceptance of reformatory method. The third birth is accepted by the spiritual master. So in ISKCON, what do we say? What is it that when you get initiation by the spiritual master, which is the second birth, right? First birth is from the mother. And then when you take second initiation, it's called the third birth, right? So here, something similar is being said, that when you accept any reformatory method, any sanskara, so like Upanayan sanskar, for example, the sacred thread ceremony, in some Brahmin families, especially in Maharashtra, when the boy is 8, 9 years old, they do the ceremony, which basically means now it's ready to study the Vedas and other scriptures. Now, there are other kinds of births. Do we know any other kinds of birth from the scriptures, like not from the womb of the mother? Scratch your head, think about.
Yes, Prabhuji. From 8.4 million species, we know, some are born from the womb, some are from eggs, some are from seeds like that. And
Yes, that's absolutely correct. There are four kinds. Andaja, which is from the egg.
Correct.
Sweatja, which is from the sweat, right? Bijda, which is from the seed, and then the Yonija,
Food.
which is basically from the.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about human beings only. So, what other kind of birth do you know from the scriptures?
Kauravas.
Kauravas,
Right,
exactly
Prabhuji,
right. So, how were they born?
Wasn't it like I don't know, a big, I don't know what it was,
Big lump of
but they
flesh,
separated into 100 pieces
correct, and put in pots, and then 100, 101 actually, the 101 kids were born. So one girl and 100 boys. So that's one example. Any other example you can think of?
Prithu Maharaj, Prabhuji.
Yes, I know, you will know. So Prithu Maharaj, how was he born? Churning the body of King Vena, the father. Right. So anyway, my point is there can be different kinds of births, but here specifically talking about those three kinds of births that are related with the initiation. And the reason is that these people were very much Brahmins. They already had their reformatory sessions done. Okay. But the point is that because they became associated with Muslim, they were considered Muslims. That's Neech Jati. Okay. All right. Text 190. Mattulyo nasti papatma na aparadhi cha kaschana pariharepi lajja me kim bruve purushottama. So the humility continues. The saying, Dear Lord, let us inform you that no one is more sinful than us. This is Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami talking. Nor is there any offender like us. So what's the difference between sin and offense? Just very quickly, I know you should know. The difference between sin and offense.
Prabhu, sin means pap and
No,
offense
don't
means
go to
aparad.
translation. Give me definition.
Oh, okay, definition.
Don't give me definition.
So,
Definition, not translation.
offense is something that will keep you away from Krishna.
Correct. Yes. And
Yeah.
sin is?
And sin is that you do wrong action and then you'll be punished for.
But who defines right and wrong?
According to the Vedic scriptures.
Correct. Scripture, exactly right. So if not according to the injunctions of the Vedic scripture, is pap, sin. And if it is according to it, then it's punya. Offense is something, any activity that will take you away from the worship of Radha and Krishna. Aparad. Aradhana is Radha. Up means away. Okay? So they're saying we are not just sinful, we are also offender. Then they're saying, even if we wanted to mention our sinful activities, we would immediately become ashamed. And what to speak of giving them up. So they're saying we can't even give up our sinful activities. Okay, this form Bhakti Ratham Sindhu. Text 191. Patit pavan hetu tomar avatar ama boy jagate patit nahi aar. The true brother submitted, Dear Lord, you have incarnated to deliver the fallen souls. You should consider that in this world, there's none so fallen as us. So, can you think of any bhajan that?
Yes.
Which one?
Patita pavan hetu tam avatare mo sampatita nahi pave aur.
Who's singing that? Who wrote it?
Narottam Das Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Exactly right. Okay, and there are others also, which basically talk about the same thing. Text 192. Jagai madhai dui karile udhar. Taha udharite shram nahil tomar. Very interesting. He's saying you have delivered the two brothers, Jagai and Madhai. But to deliver them, you did not have to exert yourself very much. That wasn't hard work. What did Lord Chaitanya do when he saw blood on the forehead of Lord Nityananda?
He picked up his darshan chakra, Prabhuji.
Yes, exactly. He
That's
invited Siddha Chakra. So as if that's no hard work. They're saying that wasn't hard work. Don't worry about that. That was nothing. Ours is going to be real hard work. I mean, again, shows so much humility, telling themselves to be lower than Jagai and Madhai. Text 193. Brahman jati tara navadvipe ghara neech seva nahi kare nahe nicher kumpata. They're justifying their statement that they're lower than Jagai and Madhai. The brothers Jagai and Madhai belong to the Brahman caste, and their residence was in the holy place of Navadvip. So they lived in Holy Dham. They never served low-class persons. They never served Muslim, nor were they instruments to abominable activities. So Muslim type of activities are abominable activities. They did not do all that. So they were qualified, more qualified than us. Text 194. सबे एक दोषतार होए पापाचार पाप राशि दहे नामा भासई अब तुम्हार. Jagai and Madhai had but one fault. They were addicted to sinful activity. However, volumes of sinful activity can be burned to ashes simply by a dim reflection of the chanting of your holy name. This is the purport we'll talk about. It's very interesting verse. Somebody wants to read purport?
Can I read, Prabhuji?
Please go ahead, Mataji.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Jai Srila Prabhupada. Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami presented themselves as being lower than the two brothers Jagai and Madhai, who were delivered by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When Rupa and Sanatana compared themselves to Jagai and Madhai, they found themselves inferior because the Lord had no trouble in delivering two drunken brothers. This was so because despite the fact that they were addicted to sinful activity, in other ways, their life was brilliant. They belonged to the Brahmana caste of Navadvipa, and such Brahmanas were pious by nature. Although they had been addicted so some sinful activities due to bad association, they had been addicted association. Those unwanted things could vanish simply because of the chanting of the holy name of the Lord. Another point for Jagai and Madhai was that as members of the Brahmana family, they did not accept service under anyone. The Shastras strictly forbidden a Brahmana to accept service under anyone. The idea is that by accepting a master, one accepts the occupation of a dog. In other words, a dog cannot thrive without having a master, and for the sake of pleasing the master, dogs offend many people. They bark in innocent people just to please the master. Similarly, when one is a servant, he has to perform abominable activities according to the orders of the master. Therefore, when Gabirakasha and Dakara Mallika compared their positions to that of Jagai and Madhai, they found Jagai's and Madhai's position far better. Jagai and Madhai never accepted the position of serving a low caste person, nor were they forced to execute abominable activities under the order of the lower caste master. Jagai and Madhai chanted the name of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by way of blasphemy. Because they simply chanted his name, they immediately became free from the reactions of sinful activities. Thus, later they were saved.
Yeah, thank you. So here the importance of holy name is being discussed. And it's saying that even though they were chanting the name in the way of blasphemy, but still the effect was there. So in Bhagavatam it says, whether you're saying the holy name out of envy, out of fear, out of lust, the result is still the same. And these days, probably most of you are listening to Chauraga Garnyam Purusham Namami, right? In that, one stanza says that even taking his name, I don't remember the line, take his name can remove mountains of sinful reactions, right? I'm sorry, I cannot remember the lyric specifically, but I remember the
Is it Anek Janmarjita
No. That's there, of course, but I think it's the third or fourth stanza, which is by your name, the mountains of sinful reactions are destroyed. I think it's the third or the fourth stanza. Maybe fourth.
Prabhuji, It's the fourth stanza.
The fourth.
Yadiya
Giri
nama
prasaranapi
paratya shesham.
paprasham.
Yes, that's the one. Mataji, please just read.
Yeah. Yeah. Yadiyanamapi haratya sesham giri prasaranapi paparasham. Asharya rupo nanu chaurayidrag drishtashruto vana maya kadapi.
Thank you so much. Yes. So saying that your name will remove mountains, bigger than a mountain reactions, sinful reactions, right? But don't confuse the removal of sins with granting of love of Krishna. So remove the sins, but not give you love of Krishna. Okay, so that's something to remember. Now, also we say that the first offense against the holy name is blaspheming the devotees who have dedicated their life to the spreading of Krishna consciousness. But Lord Chaitanya is so merciful. He says, even if it's blasphemy, I'll give you love of Krishna anyway. So Lord Chaitanya does that, but that's a very special case. Otherwise, the holy name will destroy the sinful reactions, even if done not very attentively. Okay? So that's the beauty of the holy name. Okay? All right, 195. तुम्हारा नाम लो या तुम्हारा करेले निंदन सही नाम लोए तार मुक्ति रे कारण होइले तार मुक्ति रे कारण Jagan Madhya uttered your holy name by way of blaspheming you. Fortunately, that holy name became the cause of their deliverance. That's the power of holy name.
Yeah.
Okay. 196. Jagai Madhya hoite koti koti gun. Adham patite papi ami dui jan. We two are millions and millions of times inferior to Jagai and Madhya. We are more degraded, fallen, and sinful than they. I mean, the height of humility. Literally, height of humility. 197. Mlech jati, mlech sevi, kari mlech karm, go brahmana drohi sange, amar sangam. Actually, we belong to caste of meat eaters because we are servants of meat eaters. Indeed, our activities are exactly like those of the meat eaters. Because we are always associated with such people, we are inimical towards the cows and the brahmanas. Wow. I was really shaking my head saying, how can he get so humble? Okay, let's see the purport.
Can I read, Prabhu?
Please go ahead.
There are two kinds of meat eaters, one who is born in a family of meat eaters and one who has learned to associate with meat eaters. From Srila Rupa and Sanatan Goswamis, formerly Dabira Khasa and Shakar Malika, we can learn how one attains the character of a meat eater simply by associating with meat eaters. At the present moment in India, the presidential offices are occupied by many so-called Brahmanas, but the state maintains slaughterhouses for killing cows and makes propaganda against Vedic civilization. The first principle of Vedic civilization is the avoidance of meat eating and intoxication. Presently in India, intoxication and meat eating are encouraged, and the so called learned Brahmanas presiding over this state of affairs have certainly become degraded according to the standard given herein by Srila Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami. These so called Brahmanas give sanction to slaughterhouses for the sake of a fat salary, and they do not protest these abominable activities. By depreciating the principle of Vedic civilization and supporting cow killing, they are immediately degraded to the platform of Malichas and Yavanas. A Malicha is a meat eater, and a Yavana is one who has deviated from Vedic culture. Unfortunately, such Malichas and Yavanas are in executive power. How then can there be peace and prosperity in the state? The king or the president must be the representative of the supreme personality of Godhead. When Maharaj Yudhishthir accepted the rule of Bharatvarsh, formerly this entire planet, including all the seas and land, he took sanction from authorities like Bhishmadev and Lord Krishna. He does rule the entire world according to the religious principles. At the present moment, however, heads of state do not care for religious principles. If irreligious people vote on an issue, even though it be against the principle of the Shastra, the bills will be passed. The president and the heads of state become sinful by agreeing to such abominable activities. Sanatan and Rupa Goswamis pleaded guilty to such activities. They therefore classified themselves among the malicious, although they had been born in a Brahmana family. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So again, their humility continues. And there's a couple of points being made here that we should discuss. And that is, what is the cow slaughter? Prabhupada said that the fundamental cause for all these wars and famine and all these other problems is that the cows are being slaughtered. And if cow slaughter stops, a lot of these things will stop. He's also talking about the Indian government. They're being governed by so-called Brahmanas. It turns out that, well, I don't know if it's true or not, but they're not Brahmanas, but they were certainly not acting like Brahmanas. At that time, they were encouraging the opening of the slaughterhouses. They were encouraging the opening of the liquor houses.
Liquor house.
Yeah, so on and so forth. So clearly, that's not Brahminical behavior. Not that Sakar Malik, Dabir Khas, the Sanatan Goswami and Rupa Goswami had anything to do with those kind of things. It's just their humility they're showing, how they are so much inferior. The other point is that in the old days, the kings, although they were kings, but they always had a council of Brahmins who were experts in the Vedas and other scriptures, Vedic scriptures. And whenever a major decision had to be made, the king will consult them, they will consult the scriptures and give their judgment based on the scriptures. And that's what the king will execute. So king was responsible for the maintenance of his subjects. So much so that we know from the story of Lord Ram, when he found out that one idiot Dhobi, was upset with what he did, he actually agreed to send Mother Sita to the forest. Right? So that's how seriously the opinion of the subjects was taken and how seriously the responsibility to take care of subjects was taken. But not like present days administration and the kings and the leaders, etc., etc. Right now, it's all about what I can get from my power, my position. It's nothing to do with the people they rule. Other thing is that even if some of these administrators go to their gurus are bogus. So they get bogus advice anyway. Like I know Indira Gandhi was famous for having somebody as a guru and should go to consult him, but he was a bogus guru. So what advice could he give? Okay. Text 198. More karma, more hate galaye bandhiya, kuvishay vishtagarte diyache phelaiya. The two brothers, Sakar Malik and Dabir Khas, very humbly submitted that due to their abominable activities, they were now bound by neck and hands and had been thrown into a ditch filled with abominable stool-like objects of material sense enjoyment. So objects of material sense enjoyment are being compared to stool, and this world is being compared with a ditch filled with stool, and we are being compared, at least they're comparing themselves to be like somebody bound by neck and hands, so no freedom. So let's read the purport to understand this better. Do we have a volunteer?
Can I read?
Please go
Can I
ahead.
read,
Yes.
Prabhuji?
Please go ahead.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has explained Ku Vishaya Garta as follows. Because of the activities of the senses, we become subjected to many sense gratificatory processes and are thus entangled by the laws of material nature. This entanglement is called Vishaya. When the sense gratificatory processes are executed by pious activity, they are called Vishaya. The word Su means good and Vishaya means sense objects. When the sense gratificatory activities are performed under sinful conditions, they are called Kuvishaya, bad sense enjoyment. In either case, either Kuvishaya or Suvishaya, these are material activities. As such, they are compared to stool. In other words, such things are to be avoided. To become free from Suvishaya and Kuvishaya, one must engage himself in the transcendental loving service of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The activities of devotional service are free from the contamination of material qualities. Therefore, to be free from the reactions of Suvishaya and Kuvishaya, one must take to Krishna consciousness. In will save himself from contamination. In this connection, Srila Narottam Das Thakur has sung Karmakanda Jnanakanda Keval Vishere Bhanda Amrit Baliya Yeb Khaya Nana Yoni Sada Fire Kadarya Bhakshan Kare Tara Janma Adha Pate Yaya. Suvishaya and Kuvishaya both fall under the category of Karmakand. There is another Kant platform of activity called Gyan Kant or philosophical speculation about the effects of Kuvishaya and Suvishaya with the intention to find out the means of deliverance from material entanglement. On the platform of Gyan Kant, one may give up the objects of Kuvishaya and Suvishaya, but that's not the perfection of life. Perfection is transcendental to both Gyan Kant and Karm Kant. It is on the platform of devotional service. If we do not take to devotional service in Krishna consciousness, we have to remain within this material world and endure the repetition of birth and death due to the effects of Gyan Kant and Karm Kant. Therefore, Narottam Das Thakur says, Nana Yoni Sada Fire Kadare Bhakshan Kare Tara Janma Adha Pate Yaya. One travels throughout various species of life and eats all kinds of nonsense, thus he spoils his existence. A man in material existence and attached to Kuvishaya or Suvishaya is in the same position as that of a worm in stool. After all, whether it be moist or dry, stool is stool. Similarly, material activities may be either pious or impious, but because they are all material, they are compared to stool. Worms cannot get out of stool by their own endeavor. Similarly, those who are overly attached to material existence cannot get out of materialism and suddenly become Krishna conscious. Attachment is there, as explained by Prahlad Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam. Matirna Krishne paratah svato va mitho abhipadyata graha vratanam adanta gobhir vishatam tamishram punah punascharvita charvananam. Those who have made up their minds to remain in the material world and enjoy sense gratification cannot become Krishna conscious. Because of their attachment to material activity, they cannot attain liberation, neither by the instructions of superior persons, nor by their own endeavor, nor by passing resolutions in big conferences. Because their senses are uncontrolled, they gradually descend to the darkest regions of material existence to repeat the same process of birth and death in desirable or undesirable species of life.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. So, one major point is that whether it's pious activity or sinful activity, they both result in entanglement in the material world because they both are on the material platform and therefore they result in karma. And as long as you have karma, you have to come back to suffer or enjoy. Is that point clear?
Yeah.
So, therefore, Kuvishaya or Suvishaya doesn't matter. If you do karmic activities, you're going to be attached, and that's not good. And then it's a very wonderful bhajan by Sri Narottam Thakur. Karma kanda, jnana kanda, kevala vishera bhanda. Bhanda means bartan, pot.
Pot.
It's pot. So whether you're doing karma kanda or jnana kanda, you're basically handling a pot full of poison. Okay? Amrit boliya jeva khai. And then some of us think that's nectar. and they're drinking that poison. So it's saying that this is nectar, they're drinking that poison, which is your karma kanda, jnana kanda activities. So what happens when they're thinking is nectar, they're eating that poison? Nana yoni sadapire means many different types of 8.4 million types of species take birth in those. Kadar ye bhakshana kare. Kadar means nonsense like stool. You're eating that, the abominable stuff. Ta janma adha pate jaye. And therefore go into lower and lower species of life. So actually, in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 16, text 19 and 20, they talk about Asuri Yoni. And Krishna says, Tan ham dushta kruran, sansaresh naradhaman, shipam ajasram ashubhan, asuresh ev yonishi. Saying that those who are envious of me, which basically Kamkandi and Gyankandi people, because they don't necessarily believe that Krishna is the enjoyer, Krishna is the controller, and so they become competitor, they're envious of Krishna, so they get sent to the Asuri Yoni. But then what happens? Text 20, he says, Asurim Yonim Apanna, Mudha Janmani Janmani. So having taken birth in Asuri Yoni, life after life after life, what happens? Mama papeva kaunte. It does not get me. Tato yanti adhamam gati. Therefore, it goes into lower and lower species of life. So it becomes really bad. You start low, then you go lower, then lower, the lowest. So Gyan Kand and Karm Kand are very dangerous things. That's why I was comparing them with a part of poison. But materialistic people think that's nectar. So drink it, think it's nectar. This is what happens to them. So he's saying material activities, either pious or impious, because they're material, they're compared to stool. And then it says, worms cannot get out of stool on their own. So similarly, materially attached people cannot get out of the material world on their own. It's as if their hands and feet are tied. So who do they need? Somebody who's not tied. And who's that?
Spiritual
Devotees.
master.
Spiritual master, no devotee. Yes, that's right. Okay. And then it's, of course, a wonderful verse. Everybody should memorize this verse from Prahlad Maharaj saying to his father, Hiranyakashipu, Matirna Krishna Paratah Satova Mitho Bhipadyet Grihevritanam Adanto Gobhir Vishitam Samishram Punah Punaschar Vicharananam. It is chewing the chewed. You had something before, you want it again. There's no taste left, you want it again. The comparison is given by sugarcane. Those of you who have drank sugarcane juice at a stall on the street, you can see sugar is put in the machine, it's squished, juice comes out. They take it again, put it back again. They take it, put it again. After a while, all that's coming out is the threads of basically the wood. There's no juice left. That's what we are doing. Trying it again, try it again. There's nothing left, but we're trying again. And we stay entangled. And it says, Adant Gobir Vishtam Tamishab. They go to darker and darker regions of hell by doing that. And they won't learn their lesson on their own or by hearing somebody, or in big meetings they discuss it, but they'll never come out of that because they're Grihavatanam. They're so much interested in sense gratification. They cannot come out of this. So materialistic people cannot come out of material world on their own. So Dabir Khas Sakamandika saying, therefore, my dear Lord, we need your help. 199. Ama udharite bali nahi tribhuvane patite pavan tumi sabe toma bine. No one with the three was sufficiently powerful to deliver us. We are so fallen. You are the only savior of the fallen souls. Therefore, there's no one but you. Now they come to the main point. My dear Lord, you're the only one powerful enough to save us. Then there's a challenge. Text 200. Ama uddhariya yadi dekhao nij bal patite pavan naam tabe se safal. If you simply deliver us by your transcendental strength, then certainly your name will be known as Patita Pavan, the savior of the fallen souls. So the Dhamma Thakur says the same thing in Gauranga Karuna Karo. He says, only when you save me, then you will be known as Patita Pavan. Otherwise, no. It's a challenge. Same thing here. You want to be known as Patita Pavan? Save us. Let people know. And that was a thought process of Nityananda Prabhu also when he delivered Jagai Madhai. He said that when people see that Lord Chaitanya can deliver even these two rascals, then they'll know he's powerful and they'll start to follow his instructions. Okay. So I'm going to stop here. It's 9:29. Any questions or comments? We can discuss that.
Prabhuji, quickly I'll ask you two questions
Yes, Mataji.
because I know it's too late for you. Since we were discussing Karm Kand and Gyan Kand, I was wondering, I've heard when we say namaste to somebody, or when somebody says namaste to us, we should, also give it back there and then, or else we'll have to come back to take that namaste back again this material world. So if it's happening on that minute level, then isn't it very difficult for a jeev to keep everything balanced and then only devote to Krishna in every possible activity? Isn't it too tough?
Yes. Yes, it is. It is too tough, at the same time too easy. It's too tough because we don't get rid of our false ego. I call you Prabhu, but really I'm the Prabhu and I'm just being humble. Or yeah, you should offer me respects, because I'm so and so. And all those things, cause problems. So somebody says namaste, then we don't say namaste back because, hey, I'm bigger than you, I'm older than you, senior than you. Why should I say namaste? Namaste means I have to bow down to you. I don't want to bow down to you. Those are things. That false ego makes it difficult. When the false ego is gone, it's not difficult. I mean, here are these two very qualified people falling like rods and calling themselves all these kind of names and declaring themselves to be so wretched and so fallen. So this is why Lord Chaitanya said, you want to get delivered, Radha Vishunichen is the principle. But until you get rid of your false ego and understand you are the soul, not the body, it's very difficult. That's why we're still here since time immemorial. It was easy, but we got all gone.
Yes.
I was reading a story. It was a joke, actually. His Holiness Keshav Maharaj was telling that. He said that one person, one devotee, he ended up in Vaikuntha. And he saw all his friends there sitting with Krishna, but very quiet. And he saw his temple president was never nice to anybody sitting there. He saw other devotees who were always causing problems sitting there. And he was shocked to see all of them. But nobody was speaking. So then he asked his guru was there. He said, I don't understand. How come these people are here and they're not saying a word? And the guru said, they're too shocked to see you here. That's why they're not speaking anything. So this is what I mean. Like, it's not easy to go with all the nonsense that we do, even though we are devotees or so-called devotees. Right? It's easy and it's not so easy. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, text 14, I think he says, how does it go? Those who remember me all the time, I can't remember the first line. He says, Tasyam Sulabha Partha, Nitya Yogas Yogina. 8:14, I know it's that. Having difficulty. I remember the first line. Anyway, so those who remember me all the time, I'm very easily available to them. So he's saying, very easy. All you have to do is remember me all the time. So what's so difficult about that? But how many of us remember Krishna all the time? That's what makes it difficult. Our material attachment, our false ego, our distractions that keep us away from Krishna. Our desire to be the controller, our desire to be a enjoyer, that's what keeps us away. And that's what makes it hard. So it's, at the same time, it's very difficult. At the same time, it's very easy.
You'll have to keep reminding your position of eternal servant.
Correct.
All the time.
That's right. That's right.
Also, Prabhuji, Sorry, please go ahead.
That's what. It's okay, go ahead.
Yeah, we discussed just, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is delivering also those who are breaking the first rule, that who blaspheme the
Blasphemy.
devotees, who have
Yes.
dedicated their lives to Krishna. But what about people who don't know about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like all those African people, or in all these Chinese countries where people don't know Krishna, they don't know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at all. So how will those people will get mercy, and how will they be delivered?
So this is why ISKCON is everywhere, chanting the holy name, you know. And so anyway, seriously, how does bhakti start? What's the first thing? According to Rupa Goswami in Nectar of Devotion, talks about the 10 steps.
Sukriti.
Sukriti. Ado Shraddha. How does Shraddha develop? Sukriti, that Mataji is saying. And what is Sukriti? Sukriti is basically spiritual credit earned by serving a devotee knowingly or unknowingly. So if somebody in Africa, for example, sees Rath Yatra going on, and he's got a hamburger in his hand and bottle of beer in the other hand and cigarette in his mouth, and he's watching these devotees dancing and chanting. And somehow he says, these are really nice people. That's it. He goes back to hamburger and cigarette. But the fact he appreciated the devotees gives him spiritual credit. A few of those get him Shraddha, and becomes inclined to spiritual activities. And then he becomes serious. Krishna says, okay, I'm going to make association of a devotee available to you. Tato sadhusam. The sadhusam gets engaged in bhajan kriya, and that's how it goes. Doesn't matter where you're from. Right? Lord Chaitanya asked Haridas Thakur, same question. In the age of Kali, people are so fallen. How will they be delivered? Haridas Thakur said, Prabhu, chinta na kari. Prabhu, don't worry. Your holy name, when they hear it, they'll deliver them. Okay. So don't worry.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you.
Everybody in Vernon has hope because you are there.
Yes, I am an exception here. Strange.
That's what I'm saying. So
And I'm also exception in my whole, aage piche sab dur
just
dur
go on the
tak koi nahi
street and just chant loudly. So many people get benefited.
hai. My husband is after my life.
Okay.
And
Anyway,
then he asking me to.
let's not go there.
Oh, yeah. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Adbhut. Amazing.
Amazing. That's right.
Amazing. Amazing.
Namo
So merciful.
Mahanyaya.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
beneficial. So merciful. We can't even imagine that.
That's all, Prabhuji. Thank
Sure,
you.
thank you. Anybody else?
So, Prabhu, just to continue from that perspective, the people who are born in India, those who have the access to all this, but they completely ignore, remain in ignorance. They are the most unfortunate, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Not born in Africa.
Absolutely right. Yes. Yeah. I mean, imagine having the opportunity to take birth in India and wasting them. But so many people came in touch with Prabhupada. So many people came in touch with Krishna himself. So many came in touch with Lord Chaitanya. But they wasted that opportunity. I mean, Duryodhan, how many times did he meet Krishna? Completely wasted. Dhritarashtra, completely wasted. Shakuni, completely wasted. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself,
Himself is coming.
mercy is pouring, but you got to put your hand up.
But our Guru Maharaj opened a lot of temples.
Prabhuji, I've heard connect on. Then they
India.
start too much.
So people are most benefited by that, Prabhuji.
Yeah, but only those who go there. Right?
Slowly they will get into.
Yeah, but when they go there, yes.
Guru Maharaj did good seva.
Yes. Sorry, Ruchira, what are you saying? I don't know if you're talking because we can't hear you.
Saying people in Vancouver associate con Vancouver. Yeah,
Sorry?
can you hear me?
I can hear you now, yes.
Can you hear me, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Okay. I was saying I have come in touch with people who visited some of my friends in Vernon, they came so close to Krishna. They were attending Mangal Aartis in ISKCON Vancouver, and then they got deviated. They were like, no, ISKCON is too much into Krishna.
Yeah.
They make you believe that every other Lord Shiva is nothing in front of Krishna. So Maya is so prabal.
Yes.
That even devotees who are so close to Krishna, they again go back.
I'll tell you about a devotee in ISKCON who came to ISKCON for 20 years. 20 years. And then disappeared.
Oh
and I
my.
ran into him at CNE, which is an exhibition in Toronto. And I said, hey, Prabhu, what happened to you? He said, well, I don't want to come to temple anymore. I said, why? He said, all you do is talk about Krishna as if there's nothing else.
Oh my.
And I said, there is nothing else. But 20 years later, he disappeared. That ISKCON doesn't talk about anything else.
Too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Mataji, we have to also accept that it is Krishna's mercy upon us, Lord Chaitanya's mercy upon us, His Guru's mercy upon us, that we are staying engaged. With all our faults, with all our sinful activities, with all our, bad, what do you call it, intentions, still Krishna is saying, it's okay, you can come. That's huge mercy. Because I know people who have dropped me at the door of the temple but not come inside. They don't have.
Yep.
They'll stay downtown somewhere, come back 2 hours later, pick me up, but not come inside.
Last Saturday, Prabhuji, there were two persons walking out of the temple just before the Aarti timing,
Yeah,
8 o'clock.
There you go.
So I asked them, did you have darshan? She said, no. I said, okay, please go back, have darshan, and then go.
Yeah.
Then he go back.
They went back.
Oh, good. Good. So you were the instrument. Krishna had some mercy upon them. Okay.
Even Guru Maharaj, in one of his last 10 instructions, he said, never leave ISKCON.
Yes.
No matter what happens.
Correct. Okay. All right. भूख लगी बहुत जोर से.
आराम से खाओ. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Thank you again. Sorry for being late.
Thank you again.
Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Bye, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.